Okay. So what you are seeing here. Okay. Well, let me do this. I need the camera. All right. Let's do this over here. All right. So let's play this video. Let's see something. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's go back. Sorry about that. So what you are seeing here, I had called a cab. I was leaving Pam's place. I had, pack up some of my stuff, and I called a cab, and I was waiting for the cab. They told me 7 minutes. I waited, um, you know, over 10 minutes. I didn't see the cab, but while I was waiting, they had somebody in their apartment turned on the intercom, and I can hear them talking. It was a woman and a young child, and I hear them talking. Now, this is the very first time I'm able to show this example of what they do when they target me, and when me and Pam gets into like an argument and stuff like that, and you know the usual, right? And so when I go downstairs, they'll turn on, somebody's in their apartment will turn on the intercom so I can hear them. Okay. Also, when I get to my house, before I open the door, they will turn on, someone in their apartment will turn on the intercom. That's again just to let me know that they're going to be listening, which they always do anyway. They never stop listening. So, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what kind of message they're trying to send. Maybe but whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this is another example of how they target me. This is another example of what they do, right? And so you'll hear in the intercom. Okay, so I have to come out here because as you guys see, I'm waiting for a cab. And so what they do is that they have the intercom turned on, right? Because I can hear like a little girl's voice and a grown woman's voice. This is another thing that they do, is to tell me that I'm being listened to. And this is how they go about doing that. All right? Let me pause this. Here's another phase in what you see that they'll do. So you have this woman here. You'll see as she gets closer, she starts opening her bag, right? And again, this is all orchestrated, and I'm gonna tell you, and you guys are gonna see, because I'm gonna explain it to you guys, right? So you guys are gonna see the orchestrated events. Hi. You see, she looks at me. Check this out. Let me go back here. So you see, as she's looking at me, okay, straight at me.
Hi. I thought you back. Oh, okay.
Okay, so I missed it. So as she say bye to me, she's looking at not bye to me, but as this woman here, the one with the braids, as she says bye to the lady going into the apartment building, right? And to see again, they start doing this, right? Okay, folding of the lips, again, trying to tell me to be quiet, that sort of thing, So,
hi.
Let me see if I can catch it at the right time. Okay, so I missed it. But she sticks her tongue out at me as she's saying bye, waving bye to the lady, the one that, folded her lips as she's going into the building. Okay?
Yeah, so I hope I got that on video where she said goodbye to the lady and she stuck her tongue out at me. All right? So, again, this is what I'm talking about. And I called the cab and, no cab is here. They told me 7 minutes. I've been out here for, well over 10 minutes. And no cap. But yeah. Right? Yep, that's what they do, man. I'm out here waiting inside and they have the intercom turned on.
Of course, because they invaded my privacy and is listening to my conversation that me and Pam had this morning. So, excuse me, my nose just started itching me a little bit. I forgot, I forgot this is what they'll do, right? So if you're watching this video, what I just did, please excuse me. Didn't really mean to. I should have been more conscious of that. Okay. So anyway, so this is what they do, right? So they'll create scenarios and situation, right? And then again, it's due to try to isolate me, right? Basically isolate me, right? And because they've done this to a lot of TIs. My brother's a TI. He doesn't talk to me anymore. I do talk to another TI here in New York. His name is RT, and he does a show on a Sunday, and we really don't even talk as much as we used to because he's busy with work and everything like that, right? And so I usually talk to Pam or talk to another friend of mine, a person who I dated in my 20s. We were engaged at the time in my 20s, and her husband had just died. So we kind of keep in contact, but we're just friends. We communicate, we talk. We give each other support, right? And so so this is what they do. So early this morning, me and Pam was arguing, and she was laughing like it was a joke. She was literally like laughing that it was a joke, telling me all this stuff, right? And laughing about it, and being all animated and stuff. And then I'm in the foyer, and she comes out of the kitchen, and she goes Mazel Tov. So I said to her, I said, "Oh, are you Jewish now? You with the Mazel Tov? Are you Jewish now? Now check this out." Okay.
Well, let me know. Listen to me.
Let me get back to the next video. Which is not this one. This one. Okay, let's get back to that video. Not this one. Here we go. All right. So let's see if anything on this one here. I don't think so.
How are you? Hi. How's it going? It's going good. How are you doing? All right.
All right. I have been waiting for a cab. Okay, I called them back, and they told me 3 minutes. 3 minutes have passed, and still no cab. Okay. So again.
Okay, so let's see.
They're mad.
I think I was saying something here. Let me.
This is all retaliation.
Okay, I think I was.
All right. I have been waiting for a cab. Okay, I called them back, and they told me 3 minutes. 3 minutes have passed, and still no cab. Okay. So again, this is all retaliation. Retaliation. All right. And because I'm standing up for myself. I'm fighting them back. Okay. I'm not taking their manipulative games. I'm not falling into their traps that they're continuously trying to entrap me in. And so they're mad. So now I guess what, I can't get no cab service. You know what I'm saying? Stuff, but
ridiculous. But that's what we go through as TIs. Okay, so now on my way home. Okay, I don't know why this thing keep doing that. I guess I'm pressing the wrong thing. But anyway, so I'm trying to get this bloody thing to work here, and I don't know. Okay, here we go. All right, now we're back live. So On my way home, all right, we get to, as we're driving, the cab driver stops, and of course, they have to have the street theater involving the police, right? And let me zoom in here. Let me play this video.
Look at this, baby.
Street theater involving the police. Okay, now you see as she sees me recording, she starts to, now you see her hands on her clothes.
Look at this, baby.
Check this out. So her hands she's not touching anything, right? But again, this is all street theater that's orchestrated, right? This is all orchestrated, and I'm gonna show you guys. Let me move this here, and I am going to show you guys, right? This is street theater. Okay, so as whatever's happening there, whatever orchestration is going on, the woman in the cab driver, she kept looking at me. I'm like, why is she looking at me? She isn't, the officer is talking, and she just keeps staring me down. She's looking at me, so I started recording. Okay, so then I started recording. Now all of a sudden, now she starts to put her hands on her clothing, pressing her thumb against her clothing. Okay, and then you'll see her, and this is something that I've noticed it, but I've never really paid really any attention to it. But I know it's part of the programming, but I really don't pay a lot of attention to a lot of things anymore, even though I see it repeatedly being done. And so what will happen is that I'll see people with bracelets, right? These silver bracelets. Okay, sometimes they'll come out with one, sometimes they'll come out with two, right? And so you'll see as she puts her hands on top of her head, she has a silver bracelet on. Okay, all right. And then she turns, and now the cop now, right? So you'll see the attention now goes to the Jewish man. He's going to grab his mask, right? Grab his mask, does the hand signal. Let's go back here again so we can pause it. Right, 4 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 fingers, right? Now, as I shift back to the cop, because again, I know all this stuff, and I know their tactic. And again, like I said, I've been going through this program. I've been in this program for so long that I can basically tell what they're going to do, right? I can basically tell from their action, right? From sometimes the slightest movement that they make, if I'm recording, I'm able to pan and catch exactly what it is that they're doing. Okay, so now you'll see the two cops. Now you see the officer right here. Okay, let me go back here again. Right. So as he does the hand signal, the officer raises his hands up, and again you'll see his silver bracelet. Right. So you see his silver bracelet. Okay. Now.
Oh, street theater.
Now, when I got in the house, right? I got in the house. My nephew, my grandnephew, my nephew's son was here. He's in the living room. I walk in the hallway. He comes out of the living room, right? He comes out, and again, I couldn't record it because I had stuff in my hands, right? I had some stuff that I had packed up from by Pam to bring home. So he comes out. He comes out of the living room. He stands up in the entrance of the living room, turns to the side, and he raised his hands. And he had a silver bracelet on. Okay, so now, I'm, taking off my shoes. He walks in front of me, so he's standing there now. As I'm taking off my shoes, as I'm done getting ready to go into my bedroom, he starts walking away in front of me, and he start doing the hand behind the back, the palm fixation drill. Okay, I'm like, okay, whatever, Got in my bedroom and went back out to go to the kitchen, and my nephew's daughter all of a sudden steps out in the hallway. She steps out in the hallway, and then she starts bending over in front of me, right? And she starts bending over in front of me, and I said to her, "What are you doing?" And so she stands back up straight, okay, and again start to do the palm fixation drill, right? So at that point, I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm looking for something. I'm like, well, you can't be doing that in the hallway right now, okay? People are walking back and forth. And like I said, I've been through this before, okay? I know what it is that they're trying to do. I know how it is that they're trying to manipulate me, okay? And so, again, I got to put this on record because I got to let people understand what's going on and know what's going on, right? And so this stuff is well, like I said, it's psychological warfare. And so if you're a TI and you're going through this, understand it's the psychological warfare that they're engaging, and they're not going to admit it. If they do admit it, you're very fortunate. I would say that. Okay, you're very fortunate because no one around me who's been involved in my targeting has ever admitted it. Matter of fact, when I used to confront them, they used to deny it and call me crazy and all this stuff, right? But again, my proof of evidence is this: documenting, explaining exactly what is that they've done, right? The psychological conditioning that they've done to me, right? On top of that, with the remote neural monitoring, okay, and the violation of my privacy, right? Because like I said, this morning me and Pam arguing, all of a sudden she just says Mazel Tov, right? And as the cab is turning on to the block, my block, there's you'll see the Mazel Tov. I'm not sure if I did that. Let me go back. Okay, so I guess I didn't play the video, but here, maybe I did. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, shoot. So I probably should have did this before, but anyway, so here is as the cab is turning, and and again, this is the reason why they probably held the cab up, or took a long time for the cab to come, because again, they have to set these things up, right? So everything that you talk about, you think about, remote neural monitoring, the surveillance of of your conversation and stuff like that, this is what they do, right? And I was telling that to my ex, you know what I'm saying? And I was talking, I was like, yeah, I said, me and, all of a sudden, Pam comes out of the kitchen while we're arguing and then says to me, Mazel Tov, right? So I know she's gonna be bugged out when I tell her, about this stuff, right? Because I've been explaining to her about the target, and she's been very receptive. I have to say, I give her credit because I think she understands a lot more than a lot of people, right? I think she understands that these things happen, right? That these things are happening, right? And for most of us black people who don't think these things are happening, it's foolish to think that when there's a long history of these things being done, right? So again, so you see the truck, Mazel Tov on there, hit a moving truck, Mazel Tov. So this is what it is, and I just want people to understand these things, all right? And again, this is a coercive coercive persuasion program. If you go to psychologicalharassment.com, you can see and understand what is a coercive persuasion program, right? And the fact that they manipulate you, the TI, they manipulate the people around you, whether they participate in it willingly or not, that's up for discussion, right? But for the most part, I think that people know what's happening, right? And either they willfully engage in, or they know that the technology is at work and it is being used against you, right? And it's also being used on them to be used against you. Okay, so one of the things that what they, again, tactics 5, 6, and 7 is probably, I think, that we should pay more attention to, right? So again, it's creating the sense of powerlessness. That's why a lot of us TIs, we always say, there's nothing that we can do. We've tried a lot of things and nothing is working. But I always say, always continue to document, regardless of whether anything is happening or not. Always continue to document, right? Because again, they want to create a situation which it undermines your confidence. And then there are times they will try to, when they try, when it's in their favor, or not when it's in their favor, but when they have psychologically damaged you, right? And then try to reverse the psychological damage that they've done to you. They try to build up your confidence, right? And again, but it is a false sense of confidence. It's not true confidence. Okay, just remember that, right? And number two, create strong aversive emotional arousal. Again, it's what they do with me and Pam a lot, right? To where, you know, they'll manipulate situations, what's happening with her, and then, you know, it will transfer to me or affect me in negative way, and we get into argument and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And so some of the things that they do when they create strong aversive emotional arousal is by the use of non-physical punishment such as intense humiliation, loss of privilege, social isolation, okay, social status change, intense guilt, anxiety, manipulation, and other techniques. And then number seven, which intimidate the person, which you see with, again, with the police as I'm on my way home in the cab, right? Just so happened that the cab just stopped right there, okay? You know what I'm saying? And again, just showing what it is that they do, right? And then so in tactic 7, intimidate the person with the force of group sanctioned secular psychological threat. For example, may be suggested that imply that failure to adopt the approved attitude, belief, or subsequent behavior will lead to severe punishment or dire consequences such as physical or mental illness, the reappearance of a prior physical illness, drug dependence, economic collapse, social failure, divorce, disintegration, failure to find a mate, etc. Right? So, you know, so I've said this before, right? Like whenever they target me and, you know, shit doesn't work out, they'll start sending people walking, you know, by me talking about, oh, you know, oh yeah, that was crazy, man. You know, all this stuff was so crazy. He's so crazy. And, you know, I get in the house, it'd be the same thing. I go by Pam, it'd be the same thing. Hey, Nigel, you want to hear something crazy? You know what I'm saying? Multiple times. It's not just one or twice, one or two times. It's multiple times. And so, you know, these things are happening, right? And so, and it says here, it says that, you know, these tactics of psychological force are applied in such a severe degree that the individual capacity to make informed and free choice become inhibited. The victim becomes unable to make the normal, wise, or balanced decision, which would most likely or normally would have made, right? Which they most likely or normally would have made, had they not been unknowingly manipulated by these coordinated technical processes. Right? The cumulative effect of these processes can be an even more effective form of undue influence than pain, torture, drug, or the use of physical force and physical and legal threat. Okay. Also, today I had today I had my therapy session with my therapist, and I logged onto the link that they sent me, and there wasn't, he wasn't there. There was nothing there, just a blank, screen, right? And this went on for like 17 minutes. 17 minutes, right? Then I got a text saying that the therapist is waiting. I text back. I said, I'm in the room. I don't see him. And they're like, well, he's in the room too. I said, well, maybe you guys sent me the wrong link, right? And so they send me another link that I logged on to, and there he was, right? So I was able to do my session, but I didn't get the full hour, right? It kind of like cut into my hour. And again, there's a reason for them doing this. And my therapist was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, because he's like, I've been in the room since 3 o'clock. I said, so have I. So then he's like, well, maybe I need to keep refreshing. I said, but we've never done this. From the time I began my therapy session with this individual, with this therapist, we've never had that problem. But again, because I'm being heavily targeted in the way that I have within the past 2 weeks and so forth, right? These things will happen. I'll start to see these things happening. And again, it is not coincidence. It is not something that's natural that's happening. It's something that is orchestrated. All right. So I think I'll end the video here, and I'll keep posting, documenting, so you guys can understand and know what's going on. All right.